What if humans only speak one language? Imagine a world where no matter where you travel, whether you're re-walking in the bustling streets of Tokyo, relaxing on a beach in Brazil, or hiking the snowy mountains of Switzerland, every person you meet speaks the exact same language. No misunderstandings, no awkward translations, no language barriers at all. How would that change our lives, our culture, and even our future? To understand this imagined future, let's first look at the world we live in today. Right now, there are over 7,000 languages spoken across the planet. These languages evolved over thousands of years, shaped by geography, culture, migration, and even climate. Each language carries its own unique history, traditions, and worldview. The diversity is beautiful, but it also creates challenges. If you've ever traveled to another country without speaking the local language, you know the feeling of being lost in translation. We build translation apps, hire interpreters, and spend years studying foreign languages just to connect with others. But in our imagined scenario, none of that would be necessary because everyone, from the youngest child to the oldest elder, speaks the same tongue. The most immediate and obvious change would be global communication. Imagine a world summit where every world leader understands each other instantly. No translators, no delays, no risk of diplomatic mistakes caused by poor translation. Trade negotiations could happen in real time. Peace treaties could be discussed with clarity. International scientific collaborations could happen without waiting for translations of complex technical papers. Even ordinary travel would be completely different. You could wander through small villages in remote parts of the world, have deep conversations with locals, and understand every street sign without confusion. Education would transform dramatically. Students could enroll in any university in any country without worrying about the language of instruction. Imagine a young scientist from Africa instantly reading the latest research from Japan without needing it translated. Knowledge would spread at unprecedented speed. The internet would truly feel like one massive, unified conversation instead of a patchwork of language-specific communities. But here's where the story becomes more complicated. A single global language could unite us in ways we've never experienced. But it could also cost us something priceless: our cultural and linguistic diversity. Languages are not just tools for communication. They're vessels for ideas, philosophies, and traditions. There are words in one language that have no exact equivalent in another. For example, in Japanese, the word komaribi describes the sunlight filtering through leaves, something you might not even think to describe if your language didn't have a word for it. In German, Schadenfreude captures the oddly human feeling of pleasure at someone else's misfortune. In Arabic, Yaberni literally means, "you bury me," expressing the hope that the speaker will die before the person they love, because they can bear living without them. If humanity spoke only one language, would we lose the richness of these unique expressions? Cultural homogenization would be another likely consequence. Without different languages to help preserve local traditions, many cultural practices might fade away. Think about festivals that are tied to specific songs and chants in their original languages, or folk tales that lose their magic when translated. In a single language world, we might gain unity, but lose the colorful variety of human culture. However, the benefits are hard to ignore. Global problem solving could accelerate. In times of crisis, like natural disasters, pandemics, or climate emergencies, instant communication could save lives. International rescue teams could coordinate without hesitation. Global organizations could work more efficiently toward shared goals. Economically, a single language could make global trade faster and cheaper. Companies wouldn't need to localize products for different markets. Advertising could target the entire planet with one campaign. Global job opportunities would open up for everyone, as language skills would no longer be a barrier. But here comes another question. What language would it be? English is currently the most widely used second language, but Mandarin has the largest number of native speakers. Choosing one existing language might create feelings of inequality or favoritism. That's why some people suggest an entirely new, artificially created language, something like Esperanto, designed to be neutral, simple, and fair. But history has shown that even if such a language exists, people don't easily give up their native tongues. This leads us to another point. How would we even get to this one-language future? Would it happen naturally over centuries, as trade and travel blend cultures together? Or would it be the result of deliberate policy, perhaps starting in schools worldwide? And if it was forced by governments, would people resist to protect their heritage? Psychologically, language shapes the way we think. Studies in linguistic relativity suggest that our grammar, vocabulary, and structure influence how we perceive time, colors, and even emotions. For instance, some languages have multiple words for blue, causing speakers to see subtle color differences more easily. Others describe time as moving vertically instead of horizontally, influencing how people visualize the past and future. If we all used the same language, would our minds start working in the same patterns? This could make collaboration easier, but might reduce the creative diversity that comes from thinking differently. Entertainment would also change in fascinating ways. A movie made in one country could be instantly understood worldwide without dubbing or subtitles. Music lyrics could be appreciated exactly as they were written. Stand-up comedy could cross international borders without losing the punchline and translation. But again, something might be lost: the beauty of hearing different accents, rhythms, and poetic styles unique to each language. Sports culture would unify in ways we can barely imagine. Fans from around the globe could chant in the same language during the Olympics or the World Cup. Athletes could communicate seamlessly with referees and opponents. Even commentary could be broadcast without language versions. The shared excitement would be more immediate and more personal. In the far future, when humanity begins colonizing other planets, a single language could be our greatest asset. Imagine settlers on Mars, moon bases, and deep space missions all speaking one language. Communication with Earth would be smooth, and when we eventually meet alien civilizations, we could present ourselves as one united species. Of course, not everything would be perfect. With one language, regional slang and dialects might still emerge over time, slowly reintroducing differences. Human creativity tends to invent new ways of speaking, even within a single language. Look at how English today has countless variations: British English, American English, Australian English, each with its own expressions. So perhaps even in a single language world, diversity would find a way to survive. So would a single global language be a blessing or a curse? It could eliminate one of humanity's oldest barriers and push us toward a more cooperative and united future. But it could also strip away the beauty of our linguistic diversity. Maybe the true goal is not to have one language, but to ensure that we can understand each other while still preserving what makes each culture unique. In the end, perhaps our greatest strength lies not in speaking the same words, but in learning to listen across languages, across cultures, across the vast human experience.